Good evening. It's delightful to be back with you once again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Yes, indeed it is. And in a packed programme tonight, I shall be talking to Rudy Schupps, Britain's crudest male ballet dancer, about his favourite ballet, Goose Lake.
And I'll be interviewing Wally Tranter, the Bournemouth man who today took his waterbed back to the shop because he and his wife have drifted apart.
But first, the news. Bad luck for Wyro, the human pipe cleaner from Lord George Davidson's circus, who was in hospital last night after swallowing a cannonball. Doctors do not now expect him to pull through.
Chaos hit today's elections in Israel when 45 candidates demanded a recount and 322 candidates demanded a discount.
British Rail's southern region is to commemorate 100 years of commuter services by commissioning special mugs and then leaving them standing on the platform in the pouring rain.
At a charity lunch today, the Queen's Award for Industry was presented to Britt Eklund for her work on behalf of the Youth Opportunities Programme.
The All-England ladies' doubles nude tennis finals were played tonight. Wimbledon umpire Mr. Stanley Newbold said it was just like any other match, except that the spectators' heads went up and down instead of side to side.
A spokesman for the Heinz Ketchup Company said tonight that in the wake of today's big managerial shake-up, there was sauce all over the walls.
Albert Clover, renowned as England's luckiest test batsman, had his last wishes granted today when he was dropped 4 times between the church and the cemetery.
Finally, keepers at London Zoo are overjoyed tonight at the recapture of Bimbo, the missing dung beetle. He was spotted in the buffet at Euston Station trying to roll away a Scotch egg.
But now a sketch featuring Mr. Ronnie Corbett, who has just finished a modelling assignment for classic books. He appears as the pop-up version of Lady Chatterley's lover.
Morning.
Afternoon.
Somebody sitting there?
Yeah.
Who?
Me.
Well, I know that. I'm not daft, am I?
And you? I am. Hey, what's making you limp?
I'm not limp.
No, your foot.
Oh.
Have you lost a shoe?
No, I found one.
Lucky it fits, ain't you?
Well, bound to fit one of my feet, ain't it, eh? One of my feet is bigger than the other one. Mind you, everybody's got one foot bigger than the other.
I haven't. I'm quite the reverse.
Eh?
Yeah. One of my feet is smaller than the other one. Ain't you got no proper shoes, then, or what?
Oh, yeah, I got a proper pair. I got my best pair of shoes for Sundays, like, you see. And I got myself a new tie and all. Only had to take it back.
Why?
It were too tight. Here, what's that door doing there?
Oh, that's my door, that is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I lost the key last week, so in case anyone finds it breaks in, I'll bring the door with me.
That's a very clever idea, that
Yeah.
is. Very clever
Yeah.
indeed. What happened if you lose the door?
Oh, it's all right. I left the window open.
Yeah. Have you heard about old Reuben?
What?
Well, up in court yesterday.
Never.
Oh, he was so too, yeah. He stole a calendar.
What did he get?
12 months. I think personally you drink too much.
Ah, well, he told me he only drinks to calm himself.
Oh, well, explain it then. Explain it. On Saturday, he was that calm he couldn't move.
Hey, it's my birthday today, November 11th.
Oh, really? What year?
Every year. I had 2 presents, I had a wristwatch with an alarm and a bottle of aftershave. Oh. Yeah. So if you hear anything and smell anything, it's me.
Feel good, that, because that'll mean that you'll never be late for work, will you?
No.
I'm always late for work.
Why is that?
Well, I sleep slowly.
I snores, I do. Yeah, I snore so loud, I wakes myself up. Yeah, but I solved it now.
How you done that?
I sleep in the next room.
Funny, it's my wife's birthday next week.
Is it?
Yeah, she asked me to give her a coat made of animal skin.
Oh, what are you giving her?
Donkey jacket.
Hey, I've got another present here. Look at that.
Yeah, what's that?
Bet you never seen one of them before. Look.
What's that?
Look at that, see?
Why has it got that hole in it, then?
Well, that's just to see when it stopped raining, see?
That reminds me, I went up the road the other day and looked through the hole in the fence at new nudist camp.
Oh, did you? Hey, tell me, have they got men and women up there?
Well, you couldn't tell. They hadn't got any clothes on. Well, it's all very well us sitting here, I must be off now.
Yeah.
I'm going up the doctor's.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like the look of my wife.
Oh, I'll come with you. I ain't sorry to mine. Come on.
This series, Ron and I thought that it might be nice to ask our guest to be with us for all of our shows, and we're delighted that she accepted the invitation. So here, singing the theme from An Officer and a Gentleman, Elaine Page.
Their lives looking behind, and all we have is here and now. All our life out there to find. The road is long. There are mountains in our way, but we climb a step every day. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, where the clear winds blow. Time goes by, no time to cry. Life's you and I, alive today. Love lift us up where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, where the clear winds blow. Love lift us up where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lift us up from the world we know, where the clear winds blow.
This evening, my friends, I want to talk about sin. And I wish to speak only to those among you who are sinners. All those who have never sinned should leave now. No one has moved. It's just as well, because if anyone had dared to walk out, they would have been branded a liar. This village is overrun with sin. It is rife. And I tell you, friends, that the devil is everywhere. About as deadly were He's at work in the village shop, water in the milk. He's in the public house, water in the beer. And at nights he's behind the public house, water in the daisies. He's at work upstairs behind the curtains of Oak Cottage, where old Mr. Tompkins took a lodger as company for his young wife. His young wife is now in the family way. And the lodger, she's in the family way as well. I'm talking about sin and the devil. He's everywhere. He's all through the village, infecting the lives of each and every one of you, old folk, young folk, each and every one of you, spreading his evil word around with a fleck of his old folk tail. Now, if we don't do something about it, if we don't get the devil from among us, if we don't repent, my friends, you got trouble. Right here in Lower Whitton. Here. You got crimes and cheats and slight misdemeanors that add up to a whole lot of wrong. You got women who gossip and others who listen, and some who are eavesdropping all day long. See if they can hear if the women who are gossiping are saying anything about them, like young Mrs. Noakes. Now, you all know her, living up by the top end, up the hill. Yes. Now, she's known to have taken in laundry for the fellow with a limp who works at the inn. Now, just because he bought himself a brand new crutch doesn't mean he wore the old one out, but the gossip say yes, and that rhymes with S, and that stands for sin. Oh, yes, my friends, you've really got trouble. Yes, trouble. Right here in Lower Whitton. Yes, we have. You got drinking, gambling, smoking, skiving, fiddling, your income tax. You got women on the streets and girls on the game and the boys on the girls, and the girls don't care. As long as they can listen to their tape cassettes, they're taking it all in their stride. And what about meanness? Have you seen the collection plate today? 2 washers, a fly-button Irish penny and a half-suck mint with a hole. Last week, when a woman was asked to contribute to a home for old inebriates, she gave her husband. Yes, she did, and one my soul. Then we got trouble. Yes, we have. It's here. Well, the whole congregation is consumed by greed, immorality and envy too. Take the women in the fur coats sitting in their minks. How do you think they got them? Why, same as the mink does. You've guessed it, made by another mink. What about lying and cheating on the railway? I've heard tell of a woman who was asked to pay full fare for her boy on the count of the trousers he was in. It's full-length trousers, full-size fares at the garden. The woman says, fine, so it's half for me and my daughter goes free, and that's a sin. They're going to have to pay for all this trouble, because the devil is waiting to carry you off to the nethermost parts of hell with the fire stoked up and the spitzer sizzling, and the oil is on the boil, and each little devil has just been issued with a brand new toasting fork. Hear me and repent, because there's no one going to be spared, not me, not you, because we're all lost sinners, and that you know full well. Now the Lord has chosen me, my friends, to go and pave the way, and I'll see.
Oh, dear. Arthritis is playing me up this morning.
I didn't know you suffered with arthritis.
Of course I do. What else can you do with it? Rich, what's the matter with your feet? Noticed you was walking funny.
It's these shoes. They're flaming killing me.
Well, why'd you wear them then?
Listen, I got no money. I can't afford tobacco. I'm sitting here sucking an empty pipe. Can't afford beer. Haven't got television. I'm all alone in the world. No decent girl will look at me, and even she did, I couldn't afford to take her out, could I? After a long day's tramping in the heat or the pouring rain, I think of all my troubles and I feel suicidal. Then I take off these damn shoes and, oh, boy, it's the only pleasure I ever get.
Next, please. If you'd like to go through now, please. And here's your card.
Oh, what's this? More paraphernalia?
If you would go through,
Yes.
please. The doctor is waiting.
Thank you. Oh. Oh, what's this? Sorry. Hello.
Good morning.
Pardon?
Just come in and take a seat, would you please?
Oh, what's this? What's going
In
on?
order to ensure a faster, more efficient service for our patients, this surgery has now become fully automated. Your medical examination will be carried out automatically by the machine in front of you.
Carried out automatic. I just want you.
Please insert your card now.
Oh.
Please insert your card now. Please insert
Yes, I'm
your
going to.
card
I'm
now.
going to. I'm going to. Which way up does it
Insert
go?
your card now.
Well, right.
Please insert your card. You have now inserted your card. This will enable the computer to locate accurately your own name and personal details. Good morning, Mrs. Ethel Dimchurch of 10 Chaparral.
No, that's wrong. I'm sorry.
Your surgical corsets are now ready for fitting. Please strip down to your bra and panties.
No, that's an error. I'll press the error button, shall I? There we are.
You have just made an error. Please remove your card and insert again, this time the right way up.
Oh, dear. I can never get on with machines like this, honestly. There we are.
Good morning. You are Mr. George Herbal Stickleback.
Yes, that's correct.
2 Green Acres.
That's correct.
And what is your address?
No, that is my address.
Correction, 2 Green Acres is not a complaint, it's an address. Now, Mr. Stickleback, what seems to be the problem?
Well, Doctor, I've been suffering from an awful lot of...
Is it A, I think my old trouble's coming back, but I daren't tell the wife? B, nobody knows what it's like to live with my feet? C, I haven't been able to ride a bike since the operation? Or D, none of these? Please press one of the buttons in front of you.
D, it's none of these.
Please state when you first noticed your complaint.
Well, I first noticed it at the co-op last Saturday.
And whereabouts did you get the pain?
In the sports department.
Was it A, in the head, B, in the chest, C, in the stomach, or D, in the sports department?
The pain was in my head, but I got this sort of woozy feeling, you know.
Do you ever experience a general feeling of wobbliness? A, yes, or B, no?
Yes, A. Yes, I do get wobbliness in the head.
There are several possible causes of wobbliness. Please state number of legs.
2 when I last looked. Oh, sorry, wait, the wrong button. Wait a minute. No. Oh, dear, wait a minute.
You appear to have 12 legs. Are you A, the Nolan sisters? B, the Parliamentary Social Democratic Party? C, 3 teams of one-legged polo players? Or D, was this a mistake?
It was a mistake. Look, is it necessary to ask all these questions? Goodness me. It's a mistake coming to the surgery, I can tell you that much.
Do you ever have problems with any of the following? A, a bleeding nose. B, getting up every morning. C, Terry Wogan. Or A, B, and C, Terry Wogan getting up your bleeding nose every morning.
Is it necessary to ask all these questions?
We are now ready for the physical examination. Please undress down to A, your vest, and B, your underpants, as shown in the diagram.
Good heavens. Goodness me, I know what my underpants and my vest look like. Honestly, these machines treat you as if you were morons. I don't know what the National Health Service is coming to. I mean, we all seem to be regarded as simpletons. It's just quite ridiculous.
Have you done that?
Yes, I have.
Good.
Carry on.
Now, to test your heart, pick up the large stethoscope on the table beside you.
Yes.
And attach it to the sockets on either side of the television set. Now place the end against your chest and breathe in and out and in and out and in and out
and in and out and in and out.
Oh, the machine's got on the blink now.
And out. That completes your examination.
Thank goodness for that.
You have a septic pimple on your right buttock, Sir Harold. Try sitting on the left one just to be on the safe side. No, Mrs. Bloomstein, for the last time, I will not marry your daughter. Now get her out of my surgery.
I demand to see the proper doctor straight away. I refuse to carry on with this carnival. Will you send him in here fast, please?
Ah, Mr. Stickleback. I'm happy to tell you that you are 2.5 months pregnant.
I first met Dick down a dirty duck, didn't I, Dick? Yeah. 2 musicians down at our luck, wasn't we, Dick? Yeah.
We both sat down and had some beer.
Then he comes up with a great idea.
We'd play in the street for the world to hear.
Didn't you, Dick? Yeah. We soon became the best of chums, didn't we, Dick?
Yeah.
I played the piccolo, he played the drums, didn't you, Dick?
Yeah.
But that sounded off, so we knocked it on the head.
And we formed a one-man band instead. The 2 of us, just me and Ted. Didn't we, Ted?
Yeah. I go bang, he goes clang.
I go squeak and he goes twang.
I go bump, he goes thump.
I go crash and he goes crump.
I go whiz, he goes ting.
I go bonk and he goes ping.
We're renowned throughout the land. We're the only 2-man, 1-man band. The barmaid's nice at the Dirty Duck, isn't she, Dick?
Yeah.
She gave us a kiss and she wished us luck, didn't she, Dick?
Yeah. She said, as I'm always telling you, son, 2 at a time is better than 1.
Twice the manpower, twice the fun.
Not half.
I go, he goes,
I go, and he goes.
he sometimes when we should go boom.
When he goes, I leave the room.
He goes,
I go, and he goes. We're enough throughout the land. We're the only 2-man, 1-man band.
I go bang, he goes clang.
I go squeak, and he goes twang.
I go bump, he goes thump.
I go crash, and he goes crump.
I go whiz, he goes ting.
I go bonk, and he goes pink.
We're an arm throughout the land. We're the only 2-man, 1-man band.
Tonight I'm a little bit excited because I have reason to believe that my new BBC pay rise has just come through. To be honest, my last pay rise was nearly 6 years ago when I stormed into the controller's office and demanded that they pay me what I was worth. And 37p a week doesn't go far these days. My God, I mean, it's pathetic, isn't it? 37p a week, when you consider the producer upstairs is earning nearly twice that. This week I took a militant stand and I put in a claim for a 5% increase. And it's obviously shaken them up a bit, but I've just had this top-level BBC memo delivered to me personally. Actually, it's still a bit crumpled, you know, where it was wrapped around the brick. Let's see what it says. It says, from the Director General to Mr. Robbie Cornett. See, right from the top. At last, I'm about to be treated with a little deference and respect, as befits my professional status. Robbie, what's your name, Squibface? 5% pay rise, I should cocoa titchy. Call yourself a comic, we could... Oh. I shall treat this letter with the contempt it deserves, particularly when it's not getting many laughs. On very quickly to tonight's story now, which I have decided to tell as a mark of respect to my old Uncle Brutus, who was one of the great characters of show business. For 25 years, his widow Twanky was a legend throughout Chingford. Sadly, no more. I'm afraid he has finally been summoned to that great pantomime in the sky. He's gone to work for British Airways. No, he hasn't. No. That would be ridiculous. He's actually dead. To be honest, he was a very comical-looking character with a very flat face and an incredibly big pointed nose. When he died, they used his head as a sundial. And it's very interesting because his brother, my late Uncle Horace, was also in panto. He spent 40 years playing Humpty Dumpty. I remember his cremation was held up for nearly half an hour while someone went to fetch an egg timer. When I think of it, it's been quite a year for bad news, all told. Last Sunday morning, for instance, there we all were at home, you know, taking things easy. My little nephew was sitting on the carpet, playing with his Tonka. Oh, come on. And my wife was upstairs in our daughter's playroom, trying to smoke a double glazing salesman out of the Wendy house. It was an incredibly cold morning. I remember we had to kickstart the Rice Krispies. Well, I just settled down after breakfast with the news of the world. You know, I was reading one of their thrusting, in-depth theological dissertations about a vicar who was caught on the church roof with an Avon lady. Ding dong merrily on high. When suddenly we heard that the chap next door had just been rushed to hospital. It was all very tragic because he was a businessman who was very big in kitchen equipment until his accident. He fell on top of a Kenwood blender and liquidated his assets. I digress. On with the story. Now, this story concerns a little old lady who, by coincidence, has also just lost her husband, and she decides that for some companionship, she will buy herself a dog, you see. Well, we all like pets, don't we? You know. Well, I remember when I was a boy, we were so poor, I used to have very cheap pets. For my 7th birthday, my parents bought me a semi-detached tortoise. My father couldn't afford a homing pigeon. He had a budgie on elastic. Anyway, this old lady decides she has this little dog, you see, and every day at tea time she takes the dog off to get the evening paper. See, every night, routine, goes off to get the evening paper. And one Thursday, she's not feeling her best. You know, one of these days, you know. She's begun to be a bit frail, you know. In fact, she just pulled a hamstring filling in a football coupon. So she asks the dog if he would mind going for the paper on his own if she gave him the money, you see. No, I don't mind, the dog said. No, not at all, sir. He spoke like that because he still got the money in his mouth. So off he waddles down the road. He wasn't talking a waddle, he was just waddling. Anyway, down the road, and 4 hours go by and he's not come back. My God, she thinks. Perhaps he's been kidnapped. My dog kidnapped. Or perhaps he's got tangled up in a toilet roll somewhere. When it happens, so she throws on her coat and hat and she begins combing the streets. And eventually, just as she's passing a dingy alleyway, she hears this scuffling noise. And there, to her horror, is her little dog, with a lady dog, as it were, having a good time among the dustbins, you see. So she grabs a nearby bucket of water and throws it over them and drags the little dog to one side. She said, "Well," she said, "well, I've never seen you do that before." And the little dog looked up and said, "Well, I've never had the money before."
This is a true story. It all happened a long time back. I was living down in California, just a regular, everyday newspaper hack. But all that was to change the day I set foot on Sunshine Boulevard. It was one of those thick, steamy afternoons in midsummer. My head was still sounding fire alarms from the night before. I'd been fooling around with another guy's wife. I felt a heel in a bun. But I didn't get any further. Afterwards, I'd gone on to Ricky's casino, where I collected 200 G's in half an hour. It was the worst game of Scrabble I'd ever played. Now I was alone and broke. So I took the car out to burn some rubber down the coast. I guess fate had always planned for me to run out of gas outside of that house. Right at that moment, I felt there was nothing else in the world that could possibly go wrong. There was nothing I could do but call a garage, so I went up to the nearest door and gave the bell the treatment. It was a huge, sprawling place. Parked in the driveway was a Buick so big you could get a pregnant elephant on the back seat. In fact, you could get an elephant pregnant on the back seat. Yes, sir, the owner of that house was sitting on a pot of gold.
Yes?
Can I speak with the owner of the house?
I'm afraid he's sitting on a pot of gold at the moment.
Just had a breakdown.
I'm feeling a little edgy myself. What happened?
I forgot to fill up with gasoline, and now I'm stranded.
I guess you could use some coffee.
No, it has to be gasoline.
I'll get the maid to call a garage. Won't you step inside? Oh, Mildred, could you call Harry's garage and get them to send it?
The girl was a real doll, all right. Her sweater was so tight, when she walked, it was like two turtles tap dancing under a carpet.
You interested in movies, Mr.?
Gannett. Clifford Gannett. Yeah, it's sort of my business, I guess. I write a review column for the National Enquirer. What a turkey that one was. Maxton G. Mildew. Do you know his movies were so bad that when you booked a seat, they asked you which way you wanted it facing? They say he's still alive, you know, somewhere. Still living in his own fantasy world of silent movies. A complete head case who, over the years, has just grown bananas.
He's my father.
Uh-huh. So how is the banana plantation coming along?
I apologize, Mr. Gannett.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
The truth is, I'm glad you came. There's something frightening going on in this house that... Oh, here comes my father now. I'm sorry about that. He's just seen the electricity bill. While you're here, why don't you come say hello?
Sure.
Father, this is Mr. Gannett. His car broke down. What would you say to a little fruitcake?
Oh, glad to know you, Mr. Mildew.
Mr. Gannett writes a movie column for the newspaper. He says you're just the man he wants to talk to about his big comeback. You can give him a lot of publicity.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. You see,
He says you didn't like his early movies.
Oh, no, I love them. I love them. I could watch them over and over. But
When I got back that night, I was restless. I needed sleep, but every time I closed my eyes, I kept remembering that sweet, soft perfume of jasmine and lavender, and wondered why he didn't wear ordinary aftershave like other men.
Mr. Mildew invited me around.
Mildew asked me back a couple of weeks later to run a story on the new picture he was shooting. I knew it would bomb faster than a Messerschmitt, but I figured I'd string along for the ride.
Mr. Gannett, thank God you've come back. If I don't tell someone, I'll go crazy. My father is...
What is it?
No, I wasn't. All right, so what if I did? I won't hear such talk.
Mildew showed me out to his own private film lot where he was working on his new movie, Samson and Delilah. I didn't need to ask which part he was playing. Then he really blew my mind. He introduced me to his co-stars. Was this real or was I dreaming? There in front of me were Hollywood's two biggest heavyweights. And standing next to her was Humphrey Bogart.
Nice to meet you, Fat Eyes.
Yes, Humphrey Bogart and Mae West.
Why don't you come up and see me?
He'd even booked Shirley Temple. I guess she was one of the few actresses who could look up to him. And yet there was something odd about Bogart I couldn't put my finger on. There was something about Mae West I'd love to have put my finger on, but it wasn't up for grabs. When I left, I had the strangest feeling in the pit of my stomach. I decided I'd sneak back and have a look. What I saw gave me the shock of my life. So that was the angle. Robots. Now I knew why Shirley Temple looked more human than usual. It was a peach of a story, only I didn't look like I was going to get to write it. I was prepared for anything at that moment. Anything but what I actually saw. No one makes a dummy out of me, but this guy had. I figured a hole in my back might get kind of drafty, so when he said walk, I walked. Maybe Mildew wasn't as crazy as he looked. He knew he'd never get back into movies the straight way, so he was planning to bump off actors and replace them with robots who'd queue up to work with him. Now he was telling me and Constance to start saying our prayers.
You sent your friend here over there to collect me. What you didn't realize was that I managed to overpower him and switch places. Here, catch.
On the good ship, lollipop, candy shop.
Here's looking at you, kid. Here's looking at you, kid. Here's looking at you, kid.
And that's just about the way it happened. I guess we should at least be grateful for one thing. Maxton G. Mildew never did get to carry out his threat and replace real Hollywood actors with mechanical dummies.
To bring rich rewards. A new vibrancy is evident in our economy. Spring is almost here. Nearly everywhere we turn, housing, sales, consumer spending, housing, sales, consumer spending, housing, sales.
Did he?
Spending,
Well, that seems to be about all we have time for tonight. But before we go, a few items of late news. Ralston Maine, the actor who was last month given a 4-year contract on Crown Court, today had it reduced to 3 on appeal. The Lancashire son who left his parents on learning he had had a surrogate mother is back with them. He thought they said Harrogate.
A Liverpool Street station porter deliberately misled the What's My Line panel tonight when almost at the end of his mime he started to move.
Finally, sacked door-to-door salesman Bristow Saunders took his case to an industrial tribunal today, but they all lay on the floor and pretended to be out.
Next week we'll be meeting Sir William Grant Bagshaw, the MP who has always been terribly afraid that his bottom might drop off. He's held his seat for the last 22 years.
And I'll be talking to the peeping Tom who spends every morning looking at page 3 of The Sun through a little hole in page 1. Until then, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Good night.